All right, Shalom. I want to start out with giving all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace and salutations. To the hopeful elect, coming at you with another lesson to the spirit, the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Coming at you with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. And I was just reading the book of Revelation chapter 2 this morning. And you know, the same thing that was going on back then, false doctrine, people casting stumbling blocks before people, all right, people teaching things that they ought not to be. These same things are happening today, all right? And a lot of Israel is getting tripped up behind these different things, these different doctrines that's being taught. But see, what the Spirit is speaking to the churches is you know, things are being revealed, okay? Things are being revealed. People in their, you know, their true intentions are being showed, right? So all these things are coming out because we at the end of this thing, right? And the Lord is sifting who He needs to sift, you know, in these times, right? So let's get I mentioned this first. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 1, verse 9, it says, "The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." All right, so these things that people see taking place now, these things aren't new. All right, if you had your head into the scriptures and you understand history and the things that was taking place, you will start to understand that the things that you see that's going on amongst Israel now has happened before. Okay, there was different camps going on back then. There was division going on back then. You had people teaching false doctrine. You had Israelites preaching false doctrine. Okay, you had all these different things taking place, and there's so much more you can add on. But see, the point is, all these different things were taking place. So when people see the things that are taking place now, you know, people are all, you know, all upset and all confused because they like, well, why is Israel doing this? We're supposed to be together. You know, why can't everybody just get along? Yada, yada. But these things are not to be. These things are not to be. And these things that you are seeing now happened back then as well. Okay, so it's important to go look up history and see what was taking place. You know, different arguments and, you know, things like that. You know, and not even just, you know, you call them arguments, but what you think the men of the Lord were doing? Defending the gospel. Okay, what you think Paul was mentioning when Paul was, you know, telling Timothy and telling, you know, the people that was under him, look, man, you know, tell this particular church, you know, don't, you know, to be on point about this false doctrine, roughly speaking on it or wording it. Tell them to be on point about this false doctrine that's being taught, that's being put out there, and teach them the word of truth. You see? So I read that again in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. "The thing that which have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So that leads me to get, as I was reading this morning, the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 2. Let's start at verse 14. So it says, "But I have a few things against thee, because thou," let's read up above. I believe this is talking to the church. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So this was taking place in Ephesus as well. So going to the verse 14, it says, "But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificing to idols and to commit fornication, right? So this was taking place, you know. Verse 15, so has thou, what? So has thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolatians, which thing I hate, right? Now, when you go into the blue letter, see what they were doing, right? Click on the Nicolatians. It says the Nicolatians, right? Let's get it.
Strong's G 3531. Nicolaites.
Nicolaites. That's how you say it in the Greek, right? It says destruction of people. A section mentioned in Revelation chapter 2, 6 and 15, who were charged with holding the heir of Balaam, casting a stumbling block for the church of the Most High by upholding the liberty of eating things sacrificed to idols, as well as committing fornication. All right? So this is what they were doing. You know? This is what they were doing. Casting a stumbling block before the church. Okay? Teaching false doctrine. Teaching things that were ought not to be. And you see the same thing happening today. Same thing happening today. Certain things that Jake may be doing. You know, even look at it in this sense, certain things that Jake may be doing, even though it may not be against the law, you know, it's not beneficial to the church. You know, it's not beneficial to the church. You know, the vibration that they be putting on Jake, especially the serious times that we are in now. You know, but when we say that, what do other camps say? We're hating. Okay, that we're putting them in a more of a serious mindset of instead of being in a mirth mindset. Now, it's okay to sometimes to want to get, you know, you gather together and, you know, you might, you know, have a cookout and do things like that. But to put that on the forefront for all Israel to see, you know, Jake be coming into this thing thinking this is a game. You know, because some people push, you know, these different things as like a forefront, you know, and this is what Jake see. So it says a section mentioned in Revelation chapter 2, 6 and 15, who were charged with withholding the heir of Balaam, casting a stumbling block before the church of the Most High, by upholding liberty of eating things sacrificing to idols, as well as committing fornication. Okay, so this is what they were doing, casting stumbling blocks before the children of Israel. And you see the same, you know, that same type of behavior going on right now. Jake casting a stumbling block before the children of Israel, teaching madness, complete madness, right? So it says, let's read that again. Verse 15 says, so hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaians, which thing I hate. And it gave you what they were doing. Okay. Now, furthermore, let's go into a little bit of history of it. Just gonna hit the point, not gonna make this long. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna go to the third one. It says, he reproves, right? He reproves them for their sinful failures, but I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there, right, the 14th verse in Revelation, there are those that hold the doctrine of Balaam, etc., and those that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. There were some who taught that it was lawful to eat the things sacrificing to idols, and that simple fornication was no sin. They They by impure worship drew men to impure practices, as Balaam did the Israelites. You see? And that's what you got, the people that supposed to be priests of the nation, as they claim to be, or teachers of Israel, as they supposed to be. But what are they doing? Teaching, vain practices. All right, so it says the filthiness of the spirit and the filthiness of the flesh often go together. Corrupt doctrines and corrupt worship often lead to corrupt conversation. And corrupt conversation does not go into just what you say, but it goes into your actions, your deeds, and what you're doing. Okay? So, I just wanted to touch on that to the spirit. Lord willing, was edifying. So next time I want to say, Shalom.